Take it. See if I can spin tire. Well guys, we are just about done with the turbo install here on Mighty Mouse. All we have left to do is to hook up the stuff that's on the bench. That is it. We have my POD display from DynoJet that'll give us our kind of parameters. We can have this display everything from air-fuel ratio to RPMs. And I have my auto tune, which will work in conjunction with the power commander already installed to help automatically tune my fuel using this O2 wideband sensor here. And then finally I have my map sensor, which I already have installed here, which we'll have to wire up. And then it'll be time to start playing around with the fueling. So I think the auto tune is going to be the easiest thing to wire up because it's pretty much plug and play. We'll route this end gets plugged into the end of the sensor, simple enough. And then all these wires here that are color coded will simply get wired into the back of the terminal of the auto tune module itself. And that of course will get installed in my little waterproof box here with my power commander, which is already sitting in here. And then everything will just get plugged into one of the ports here on the power commander. Pretty straightforward, like I said. The difficult thing will be then getting everything into the DynoJet software and getting the fueling tuning set right. So let's just jump right in. Alright, so I'm gonna have to fish these through my hole in the back here because this plug's gonna be too big to go through my hole, because I'll have to seal that hole once everything's installed so that the water cannot get in. These wires are simple enough to install here. Just gotta push them through the little rubber grommet that kind of plug the end of the holes to make them waterproof. Work them around a little bit. Once they're popped in, just tighten down the set screw. Believe it or not, I got everything shoved into my little box down here. I got the auto tune way down in there. Everything's hooked up. This white wire that's in the power commander is what's going to run up and get connected into our map sensor to give the signal for boost. I'll have to run still 2 more wires, a 12 volt constant and a ground to that, and that's it. The auto tune, all I have left to do with it is to wire these wires up to a ground and a 12 volt power source. I'll probably tap into the tail light harness here, so I have a 12 volt keyed on power. And I have the wire hooked up to the power commander that's going to run up front eventually to the POD mod. So the next thing I'm going to do is get a chunk of black, a chunk of this red wire, hook up into my terminal along with the white wire for the map sensor. Well, we got our map sensor and our auto tune all plumbed in. As you can see, everything's fit nice here into the box. I got my wires for my map sensor running. There's only one wire, like I said, that you had to run into the power commander, and that was just the 5 volt signal. The other thing I had to do is hook up a 5 volt constant, which I tapped into my throttle position sensor supply for that, and a ground, which I ran to my battery along with the ground for my auto tune. And then we got power for the auto tune. It needs a 12 volt. So that is all done. You can see here we ran the wire for the auto tune. It's up and it's plugged in here to the sensor. I got this plastic piece on, all the rest of my wiring hooked up. So technically we could fire this right now. But before I do, the next thing we're gonna do is make a little mount here and mount my POD 300 display. I'm gonna just probably cut a little strip out of the sheet metal so I can drill a couple holes for this, and I'll put a bend in it so that I can attach it right here like so. Boy, just enough. That'll be there. This will be not upside down. Oh, that'll work nicely. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna give that a quick spray paint black, and then we can mount that on there when she dries. I'm probably just gonna use a Velcro so I can easily take it on and off. Well, I've got the display all installed there. That'll work pretty good. Be able to display. When I turn the key on, oh, let's turn that noisy bugger off. You see there I can set different parameters. I have it set for AFR, engine RPM, pressure, which should work with our map sensor to tell us our boost, and our throttle position. So now it's time to hook the computer up and see if we can't get this guy to run. Now I do have the auto tune installed, which will help adjust automatically to whatever ideal fuel ratio I set. However, for it to work, this has got to run at least 60 seconds before the auto tune turns on and starts doing its thing. And this guy will only run about 20 to 30 seconds at a time before it runs out of fuel and shuts off. So that means I'm going to have to go ahead and do a base map and adjust the fuel up to see if I can't get it to run long enough that the auto tune will kick in then and take over. So this is liable to be a pretty long road ahead of me. We'll see if we can't get this guy at least to idle before this video is up. So I'm probably not going to go into too big a detail here what I'm doing, but right now I have the map up that came with the Power Commander from DynoJet. And basically what I'm going to do is some of these numbers here, I'm bumping up like this at 1,000. The fueling was increased by 5. I'm going to bump it up to 7. These other two at 1250 RPMs and 1500 RPMs were at 7. I'm going to bump them up to 10. And then this one here, I'm going to 7. I'm going to bump it up. Wait, it was 5. I'm going to bump it up to 7. I guess I already changed it. And we will see if this will idle for a little longer now. So I'm going to open my door so I don't asphyxiate myself on fumes. Let's get this oil pump running. Yes, I know that's loud. You guys definitely made sure to comment on the last video about how noisy that oil pump is. Again, if we get good results, I will be swapping that out with a better quality one that is not near as noisy. All right, let's see what happens. Come on, girl. She's running longer than she has. Oh, there she died. So that's kind of what it's been doing on me. Dummy. I just realized that even though I changed those last time and we started it, I forgot to put send map to that. So the changes I made the first time didn't even apply. And now I'm going to put send map. Map sent successfully. Now let's try that again and see if we have any better results now that I actually sent the changes that I made to the Power Commander. See if she'll run long enough for the auto tune to kick on. Again, I need it to run a good solid minute before that kicks on. Nope, she's gonna die. Alright, so I got a little more adjusting to do. I'll check back in with you once I get this guy where she'll run and idle without shutting off and without having to be on the gas. Well guys, I was playing around with the fueling on this guy, trying to adjust it. I did finally get it to idle, but the minute I touched the gas, it would die. But I got this smelling fuel really strong, so I knew I was giving it plenty of fuel. Well, what I come to find out was how I had the carburetor spaced out was actually trapping the fuel in that little spacer I made, so it wasn't actually getting it to the engine unless I really dumped the fuel into it. So I took that out, which means I had to take my blow-off valve out for time being. And now, guys, she fires right up and idles good. So, that was a problem. And we can even see that boost gauge move a little bit now. Although I don't have it cranked up real far yet. I still have it turned down here with this guy to be on the safe side. But I think that this is good enough that we are going to take it for a little drive. I'm going to put this back together somewhat. I'll probably leave the bed off for time being. We'll put the seats back in and take it for a little test drive. I'm not going to hop on it. I got a new one of these U-pieces ordered so I can recut it to put my blow-off valve back in. And I won't be able to run my map sensor for time being. I'll have to figure out, I think if I just get another silicone hose that is this diameter, because this shrinks down to like 1.5 inches and this is 2 inches. I'll have to get one of those ordered, so then maybe I can do like I did with this guy with the sensor. But only running 3 to 5 pounds of boost right now, we should still be able to use the DynoJet tuning to adjust our fuel good enough to drive this guy to see if we're going to get a noticeable boost in power. So I'm going to go ahead, throw my panels back in, my seats back in, and we'll finish this video off today by taking Mighty Mouse for its inaugural turbo drive, howbeit not too aggressively. All right, as you can see, she is all back together. We're ready to go. I wasn't going to throw the rear fenders or the roof on there just for ease of any adjustments and stuff we got to make now. I'll have to tear this back off because I don't think I can get at, well, I could get in there to plug the power commander if I really had to. It'd just be a lot easier to do it with this off. Like I said, I wasn't going to throw this back on. However, despite my best efforts to try to get this finished, I did not beat the snow. We are in the middle of an absolute blizzard right now. So hence the fenders to keep the snow from flying up on me, and hence the roof to help keep the snow off of me. However, I promised you guys a test ride at the end of this video. We are going to take Mighty Mouse out and at least see if we're building boost, if we got any weird sputtering or shuddering going on. Again, it's not tuned specifically for the turbo yet. I'm just going to run the power commander tune, run it for a few minutes with the auto tune on, let it come up with its own tables, and we'll go from there and see how it works. So let's fire this bad boy up, get her warmed up. We're going to head out and do a little snow riding here. Good test for the turbo Pioneer 500, or not so good a test. I don't know, we'll find out. All right, let's start her up, guys. Oil pump is running. We'll give it a few minutes to get oil. Fires right up. Now this auto tune takes a bit to kick on. You will see here that my AFR is only reading 10, but this O2 sensor ready is showing 0. When that turns to 1, after that warms up and the O2 sensor gets hot enough, then we'll start reading the correct AFRs. Make sure my boost gauge is turned down for now. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I turned the oil pump off for a minute. I can hear the turbo. Oh, hopefully my piece comes, I can get my blow-off valve back on there. Jesus, snowy. Oh, I have enough room. Need to cut a little more bank out. Well, I can hear that turbo. down here into the driveway and we'll give her a little gas, see if we get any boost to build. For some reason my auto tune has not turned on, and it did yesterday when I started it up to run it. So I don't know why my auto tune didn't turn on there. It should have. I'll have to check into that. Maybe something came loose. Wait a minute, maybe I know why. Maybe the light has to be on to send power. I think I have that auto tune tied into that. That's what it is. I gotta have my headlights on. I'll have to tap into a different power source, but that's what it is. I tapped into my tail light. It's probably tapped into the wrong tail light wire, so I'll have to change that. But now you see that it's on and it's working. I have this set for 12.5 as my AFR, and it's showing 12.3, 12.4. I like it. See if I can spin tire. Well, I would say that first quick little test run was an absolute success. I know it wasn't a big run, we didn't romp on it much, but you guys saw the conditions out there. It's not ideal. However, she was running good, she was running smooth. There was no fluttering or seemed like there was any fueling issues when the couple times I did get on it. And she was building boost. I think there at the one point I peaked just over 5 PSI, which I have the 7-pound spring in my wastegate right now, so that's probably about maxed out. She was definitely spinning the tires. Again, with the snow, it was hard to tell if it was giving me any performance gains because I was just sitting there spinning, but it was spinning easy, so that's got me hopeful. Good thing is, this snow is only supposed to stick around a couple days. It's supposed to get up in the upper 30s here by the weekend. It should melt this. Hopefully, we'll get back out, get a little more running, get a little more data we can pull from our power commander. We'll check our fuel tables, see if we need to make any adjustments, And if we do, make them, and then we can start getting a little bit hard on this guy. Do some launches and see if we got any performance gains. So you guys have been waiting a long time for this. It's finally happening. She's together, we're running it. So now all that's left to do is see what he will do. Mighty Mouse is gonna be mighty, or is it gonna be a big waste of money? We'll be finding out in the next few videos with Mighty Mouse. And it looks like I'm gonna have to adjust my springs up too. I think they've settled, and I'm gonna have to crank my preload up because we're a little squatted on that side. Yeah, she's definitely squatted toward the driver's side. I don't think I put that much weight on yet this winter. Yep, we'll have to adjust our preloads up a little bit. I've had this long travel on long enough with these springs that I'm sure they've settled some. So we'll take care of that too. So make sure to let me know in the comments below what you guys' predictions are as we get to put this guy through the test now. We're gonna get some good performance gains. And guys, keep in mind, when I'm talking performance gains, I am not talking about speed. Everyone, they think performance, they automatically think about speed. Well, that just shows how closed-minded a person can be, because there's a lot more to performance than just going fast. The ability to spin these tires better at any speed is going to be beneficial. And yes, it's cheaper and easier to throw a gear reduction in to turn bigger tires better, but with the gear reduction comes a big decrease in top speed. And with these things only going 40 anyway, big tires, big gear reduction equals even less speed than that. We're talking 30, maybe in the low 20s for some of these guys running these big, huge tires on portals with 60% gear reductions plus the portals. So this might be a way for us to be able to spin bigger tires better without losing any speed whatsoever. And again, this is all uncharted territory, so this is simply to find out if it's feasible or not. So we'll see you over the next several videos with Mighty Mouse. Hopefully we'll get some of those done before the snow gets too deep out there. If not, we may be able to run her beside a Pioneer 520. I hope you guys were excited to finally see Mighty Mouse run under turbo power. As always, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep on riding.